I play Pot of Greed, which allows me to take the top 2 cards of my library and put them into my hand. And then you lose 2 life, and I gain 2 life.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian, and today I'm playing Zimone and Dina, one of the team-up commanders, this time from Strixhaven. You've got 2 students, one of which is from Witherbloom, but that's going to be the green-black, and the other one which is Quandrix, that's blue-green. These 2 students are working together to kill your opponents. They're very strong, and not only is this a 3-mana 3/4, you're almost never going to be attacking with it. You're going to be draining your opponent for life anytime you draw your second card in a turn, and that can be on your turn or your opponent's turn. And if you needed a way to draw that second card, well, there's plenty of ways to do it, such as tapping and sacrificing another creature, and then drawing a card and putting a land into play from your hand, or maybe doing that twice if you already have 8 or more lands. Zimone and Dina is incredibly good because it helps you ramp, it drains your opponent, it draws you cards, and it helps you upcycle your creatures into things that are even better. So this deck has a lot of things on the low end that help us ramp up or give us maybe some draw triggers when I enter the battlefield. We've got Landfall in here to float some mana off all of those extra lands we're getting into play. And of course, we have big, scary things like Emrakul, Portal to Phyrexia, Coma, and also just a way to bring our stuff back from the graveyard, like Muldrotha. I think Muldrotha is just a really cool card to have in a Sultai deck. You'll notice that a lot of people play Zimone and Dina with Emergent Ultimatum. I'm not building Emergent Ultimatum into this deck because I think it's a lot more fun to build around Zimone and Dina themselves, playing cards that are worth getting out into play, then sacrificing, drawing those cards, and then beating down your opponent either with your creatures themselves or just by draining them for 2 life at a time. This deck is also really cool because it gives you an excuse to run all of the things that make you tokens over and over, like Jadar, Black Market Connections, and Ophiomancer, so you can sacrifice those tokens. And if Zimone and Dina maybe get killed and countered too many times, you have a bit of a backup with things like Yawgmoth, another way to sacrifice your creatures to draw cards and take your opponent down. As far as new cards go for this deck, there's a bunch of them. We've got Orcish Bowmasters, punishing your opponent for drawing and getting you sacrificable creatures. Bloodghast, which can be sacrificed and immediately brought back. This was just added into Arena. You've also got Smeagol. You're sacrificing your creatures. You can get even more lands off those sacrifices. And the One Ring. Because you want to draw cards, right? The One Ring's right there. This is unfortunately a card that's just kind of too good. It goes into a lot of decks, and it goes into this deck. I'm also running very few counterspells just because that's not really my jam. But since we're in blue, Wash Away, Tail's End, fantastic cards to have. And since we're in Golgari colors on top, we have Sultai, which includes such good cards like Mortality Sphere and Binding the Old Gods. Really, really good removal. Same with Terra Sunder, which can be either early artifact or enchantment removal, or just permanent removal, because there are permanents that need to be removed. This color combination is very strong and very flexible, and Zimone and Dina can be built in many different ways. In fact, I've seen tokens Zimone and Dina too. So we're going to take this deck into the queue, and we're gonna draw 2. Xenagos, God of Revels. Xenagos is about going fast and hitting hard because you get to double the power, pretty much. You give +X+X, where X is the power of the creature, at the start of combat. For one of your creatures, you also give that creature haste. So if you have something like, let's say, Ghalta on the battlefield, well, she turns into a 24/24 with trample and haste. A great way to take out your opponent. Xenagos is also a god, so though it is a creature sometimes, it's not a creature all the time. Usually it enters the battlefield as just an enchantment, so it sits there and waits until you have 7 devotion and then becomes the big slam jamming monster, Xenagos. Trying to decide who to throw down here. If I want to ramp, I'm gonna go for Augur Bottom. This lets me play lands off the top of my library. Smeagol! And creatures off the top of my library. Once I have 3 different powers among the creatures I control, Smeagol will help with that, won't you, Smeagol? Oh, you're so cute! In this chat, we love and appreciate Smeagol. We also love that Smeagol has a nice 4 power for getting at that Great Henge a little faster. Hello, yes, you have 1 red mana. 2 mana and a Leafkin Druid! Nice. Leafkin Druid gets them some more mana. We don't have a land on top of our deck. I'm actually going to go for Zimone and Dina, so I'm able to activate Smeagol's ability by killing one of my creatures next turn. Smeagol's so cute. Gets me more lands. Tempts me with the ring. Ooh, Goreclaw! Oh, that's a 3-mana Xenagos. Thankfully, I did just get some removal. I'm gonna throw that in this Delighted Halfling. There's another land. There's another land. Do I want to go for the student cost here? I'm very willing to do the student cost. Getting lands into play. Smeagol. Sacrificing another creature. My Delighted Halfling. And exiling Goreclaw. It's the student cost, I know! It's so cute. So that, by the way, that text student cost actually only appears here in Arena. The discounted version of the Mastery cycle from Strixhaven. It's the student cost. It's like you're getting a student discount when you go to the, I guess the museum. The Museum of Exiling Creatures and Planeswalkers. There's a Zoprindle, Halana and Elena. A lot of scary cards are now in their graveyard because they were milled by Smeagol. They're saying, hello with a hero! Sacrificing a land to get 2 more. They still have 4 mana that I see. They explore with 2 of it. Getting another land into play. Yes, they do! And they scry! Oh, and they get a discount off this Goblini! Green. More green. Drawing cards. Ooh, a land on top of my library. Why, it sure would be nice if I had that land. Boop. Put it into play. Augur of Autumn swinging in. Swinging in. Augur of Autumn swinging in. They can block. It's my ring bearer, but this is only 2 power. I don't feel like I need that Augur of Autumn anymore. So I'm going to kill it to play Black Market Connections. Smeagol is now the ring bearer. And we steal another land, the Copperline Gorge. Smeagol's like, please don't make me block. I'm not good at blocking. You're great at blocking, sweetie. You're a 4-2. It's not so good against trample. Not good at all against trample. My next turn, if I can afford to, they might deal a lot of combat damage to me. I want to pay 6 life. Ooh, the Doors of Durin! This gives haste to creatures. And does a bunch of other weird stuff. Whenever you attack, you scry 2, then you can reveal the... No, it doesn't give haste. It puts things into play tapped and attacking for free? It's so weird. Oh. Do I want to trade? No, I like my Smeagol. I mean, I could bring it back with my Muldrotha, but she's going to be used for bringing back other things. Also paying the 6. Yeah! Get that draw 2 trigger. Here comes Muldrotha. Cast as creature. Augur of Autumn. Ooh, a Morbid Opportunist. I'm going to sacrifice that Shapeshifter token I just got. Now a creature has died. I'm going to attack with Smeagol. Put a land into play. Oh no, that was me discarding. Ooh, another land though. I have to sacrifice here to get it into play. Augur of Autumn! Friend who came from the graveyard! Return to the graveyard. Get a treasure. That was a very good draw. Reclamation Sage means I can get rid of the Doors of Durin. I could target Xenagos, but Xenagos is indestructible, so not really worth it. Bam! And now we steal another land. Muldrotha, you are the ring bearer. He's just a big old elemental. More treasures. And we win! GG's, Xenagos. Jin-Gitaxias, Core Augur. I'm kind of glad that this is a creature-based deck, because this card is kind of tricky to play against if you're not. This is the big, scary Jin-Gitaxias that cuts off your opponent's hand and gives you a maximum hand size of 0, all while drawing, is it 10 cards yourself? You completely refill your hand. So we're going to want to go early, quickly, as they do what I assume is lots of counterspells to protect themselves as they ramp up to 10 mana for Jin-Gitaxias. Behold! Elf! If I had started with a Llanowar Waste, and then Yamavaya Coast, I could have gotten down Zimone and Dina this turn, but I would have been paying a lot of life for it. Here, Elvish Rejuvenator. We find Zagoth's Triumph, and that's a great card to have. It's a tri-land, so it has all 3 land types. Academy Lore Master? I don't even know what this is. I can draw additional cards, and if I do, my spells cost 2 more. Interesting. Well, I still have enough mana for Zimone and Dina, so I will draw an additional card. Ba-bam. Academy Lore Master is such a strange card. Yeah, this came out not even that long ago. I just forgot it exists. Oh, you! Confounding Conundrum against the Zimone and Dina deck. That's rough. So now I have 2 potential targets for this Reclamation Sage. I can either free my commander, or I can get rid of this Conundrum so I can get extra lands into play each turn. And I like to do what my commander likes to do, so we're going to hit the Witness Protection. I am going to sacrifice. And we're going to pass the turn. We're holding our Wash Away. Taking out the Lore Master. We draw! Go to main phase. Get out another... You know what? We could start with the Tatiova. We're going to tap the Elvish Mystic for this, just so I'm holding up the Wash Away blue mana. Bone to Ash, it's a counterspell. Not that surprising. Swing in with the Reclamation Sage, and sacrifice it. Sweet. I know I have to put another land back into my hand here, and that's totally fine. Like, oh no, not my coast. Playing the coast. Looking at how much damage or anything else I've got here. Going for X equals 4 on Lair of the Hydra. Going to combat swing with both the Elvish Mystic and the Lair. And sacrificing the Elvish Mystic to Zimone and Dina. Gotta have those draw 2 triggers. Oh no! Anything but me just getting the land back into hand. And I guess I can just pass the turn. I could play this Llanowar Elf. I don't think I'll need that Wash Away. Are you gonna bounce? No, they're gonna counter! It's a stern scolding! Gandalf, please. I didn't mean to knock the armor into the well. A Tolarian Terror! At a discount. We've got a clear water pathway. I actually have enough mana that I could just exile this thing. Sounds fine enough to me if I'd like to. But I'm not really in any rush. I'm going to do a sorcery speed. Orcish Bowmasters, ping them in the face. I'm then going to sacrifice said Orcish Bowmasters amass token. Sure. I like putting things into play. It makes me feel powerful. A Mortality Spear. Okay. Kami of Bamboo Groves. Let's get that land right back on that battlefield. Looking good. Now, would you like to draw some cards? Because I've got a Bowmasters ready to punish you. They have 6. 6 is good. Oracle! Yeah! I want to play more lands. Boo! I don't want a Yawgmoth on top of my deck. Land? Lands! I can play extra lands this turn, thanks to the Oracle of Moldiah. Boo! I'm out of lands! Uro, find me some more. They're gonna rewind. Do I think that's worth a counter? No. Uro being in the graveyard is honestly so fine for me, because it's just, oh yeah, I'll bring him back next turn. That's a very big snake you've got there, Jin-Gitaxias. A Sublime Epiphany! Going to bounce Zimone and Dina and try and make a copy. You know, that's actually, I would say, worth countering. Counter to the counter spell, but not the other counter spell, just that counter spell. And they might not know it, but they're not going to take another turn. Not because they conceded, but because I was actually going to cast Emrakul, but this works too. Good game, Jin-Gitaxias. Atraxa, Grand Unifier. It's value, but 4 colors of value. We have a bit of ramp here. We have the Lotus Cobra. We also have a sacrificable elf here, the Elvish Visionary. This is not a bad hand, even though it only has 2 lands in it right now. Atraxa is going to be tricky, though, just because she's big, and I am running some pretty nice removal, but not that much relative to a lot of my Golgari decks where I'm just going kind of nuts on them. Step 1, a Bloom and Marsh. They started with a breeding pool, so we've both got mana. Ooh, already got all their colors with this Arcane Signet. They have ramped first. Start with Elvish Visionary over the Lotus Cobra. Just to see what I can draw. Get a little deeper into my deck. They're tutoring. The top third of their library gets searched through. Assemble the team. Helps you get more good stuff. I feel like in a 100 card deck, Assemble the Team is pretty likely to find you the sort of thing that you want. No need to play the land after the Cobra. Swing in for 1. Next turn, we could go for Zimone and Dina using the floating mana off the Lotus Cobra. I think I'm more likely to go for Uro, though. Ooh, I'll solve the equation! What do you tutor for? Yeah, because this commander fills up their hand, having a very, let's say, small opening hand doesn't actually hurt them that much. Get some blue, float some blue, here comes Uro. Draw a card. Ooh, a Hinterland Harbor. Sure, I'll put that into play. Bye, Uro. Here comes Zimone and Dina. swinging for 3. Did they tutor for a tutor for a tutor? They tutored for ramp. There's a Gilded Lotus, and into the north. In good news, I can get rid of the Gilded Lotus. Casualties of War, a good card. I'll play the swamp, put some green mana, and then decide, do I want to go for Coma or Casualties? I'm going to get so cash. We're going to destroy an artifact and a land. This is not a lot of modes on here, but it should be enough. I'll take out their breeding pool. The mana confluence gives them access to more colors, but it also hurts every time they use it. Sacrifice this Elvish Visionary. Let's live the long, fulfilling life of hitting my opponent for 1 damage. Pull some green. Get a Loam Speaker. Swing for 2. Bam. Supreme Verdict! I don't have creatures anymore, but that's fine. I could have left Zimone and Dina in the graveyard for Uro, but instead, had a snake. A big snake. They didn't have any instant speed kill spells, but I would have used them, I think, in the upkeep before I got the snake. Eldest Reborn. Great news, I can just sacrifice the coil. More snakes. Everybody likes snakes, right? No? Maybe I'm just a snake lover. And a Blood Artist in case they try causing trouble. Swing for 6. And I have a lovely forest to discard. Coma is a very, very good card. Oh, hi, Atraxa. Great news. Atraxa, you know her? She's not going to be able to attack our block. I can actually wait here. Doesn't matter. There's not any free spells that would stop this. We have a lethal swing. I could either sacrifice a snake now or later just to tap this Atraxa down, because otherwise she's gaining quite a bit of life. And I don't want to deal with that. Ma'am. Please become sideways. Gonna go ahead and... Perfect! And we win! Tovolar, Dire Overlord. They're werewolves. They're playing a werewolf deck. When a werewolf hits you, well, they draw cards. And if they have a bunch of werewolves and wolves out at the start of their turn, all of them transform. It becomes nighttime and they flip over, turning into, I don't know, bigger, scarier, more werewolfy wolves. Do I want to play Jadar or just ramp? I'm going to ramp here. And the reason for this is because I'd like to have this Binding the Old Gods ready next turn, even though they can't play Tovolar right away. Ooh, a Duskwatch Recruiter. That's a fun one. I mentioned landfall, so we've got Tireless Provisioner, which we can then use a swamp to generate a treasure. Now we have treasure and swamp for Jadar. Nice Duskwatch Recruiter, though. Nice Duskwatch Recruiter. This thing was a house in Limited. Really great card. Three mana. 1. Ow! I'm not blocking. They'll get to draw a card. And they do have Wolf, Werewolf, Werewolf, which means we gotta get rid of one of them, and it's going to be Tovolar. I could attack in with a zombie. They would just block it. It would die. I would get another one. Sometimes there's reasons to do that. Right here, not really. Next turn, Binding the Old Gods will ramp for me. Ooh, Cabaret Rebels. That gets them creatures when they cast creatures. Versus the Ulvenwald. It's a land into play. They do not have Delirium. Oh no, it just puts it into hand. Sorry. It just puts it into hand. Take another 3 damage. Trying to decide if I want to destroy the Cabaret Rebels. I think it's the right move. Dagoth Triome. That's going to get me a landfall. We get a treasure. Shipwreck Marsh. Same thing. Get a treasure. Zimone and Dina. And use up one of those treasures to take out Cabaretti Rebels. Boop. No attacks. Escape to the Wilds. A great Gruul spell. Lets them play extra lands and gives them access to some pretty big spells for the next few turns. I see a Verdant Rejuvenation, which they'd be able to cast, but it would only get them 2 things. I'm not sure if that's worth it. Here, I have a Bloodghast. I'm going to sacrifice the Bloodghast. I'm just going to attack in with this zombie. Ooh, an Emrakul. Nice. Mortality Spear to take out Duskwatch Recruiter. I have gained life. We may as well. Attacking with everything but Jadar. Looking fine. Look! A fresh zombie to sacrifice. Would you like the Verdant Rejuvenation? For 7 mana, you could get 1 random creature, enchantment, or planeswalker out of your library and put it into play. Only 1, though. Titan of Industry. That's a big boy. And it has a bunch of modes you can pick. They could destroy an artifact or enchantment, like this. They could make a Rhino. They could also gain life and put a shield counter. But they chose for the Rhino and destroying my Signet. That's fair. Unfortunately, this deck isn't fair. It's a rough one. So we're going to sacrifice our Bloodghast. Right after we bring it back. Aw, we didn't get a land! Darn. Out of the way, Titan of Industry. Guess I'll just attack in with the zombie. Ah, it doesn't matter. Keep it here. We're 1 mana off of Emrakul. Tovolar's Huntmaster comes into play. Makes a couple wolves. If it becomes nighttime, it will also make wolves whenever it attacks, and has a fight ability. They attack! I don't block. Fauna Shaman will let them tutor. A treasure. Put it into play. I'm going to immediately sacrifice it. It's just so fun to sacrifice it. Not a land. Doesn't matter. Here's an Emrakul. I'll just pass to them and take over their turn. They have an Unnatural Growth, Invigorating Hot Spring, and Snow-Covered Mountain. I don't really need to play any of these. There's nothing I can discard off the Fauna Shaman. I'm going to attack in with you. And you. And you. Emrakul takes the Huntmaster. The Provisioner on the Wolf. Reclamation Sage on Fauna Shaman. In order to make sure that it's still night or still daytime, I could still play something here. Like Invigorating Hot Spring, I think is worth just like, it's not going to be night when that enters the battlefield. I'll use up one of the tokens though, or yeah, one of the +1/+1 counters. Look, the wolf now has haste. It's a good wolf. I guess I could have also like Tovolar and Hot Springs, given Tovolar haste, and then smashed Tovolar into Emrakul. And then when it died, left it in the graveyard. That's fine. It's a move you can do. Tovolar goes fast. They're swinging in with the O's. Sure. Feel like I've gotten enough out of this Provisioner. They have 13 life. So I'll swing for 13 damage. GG, Tovolar. Kaya, Intangible Slayer. She gets rid of everything on the board over and over and over and over and over. Board wipes. Exile. This is one of the nastiest removal-based planeswalkers that, for some terrible reason, also has hexproof. Yeah, Kaya. I'm talking down about you because you just kind of bummed me out as a card. Have a Bloodghast. Why does she have hexproof? I have no idea. Yes, she's a 7-mana planeswalker, but she also has the ability to steal one of your creatures or enchantments? So good! So strong! Have a Bloodghast. And Zimone and Dina. Zimone and Dina and Bloodghast work so nicely together because the landfall means I can bring this back pretty much at the same time I'm sacrificing it. Swing in, sacrifice, bring it back. Just keep doing that over and over. It's strange. They've introduced Ward, and then they just didn't use it. I'll go to combat, swing with the Bloodghast. They don't block. Not much of a surprise. I will sacrifice said Bloodghast. Nice, an extra land. Have that come into play. Drain them for 2. The Bloodghast returns. Play a Swamp. Smeagol. And fantastically, you can be the ring bearer. Yeah, you had a creature die this turn, which means we steal a land! It's Right Climb. Right Climb Pathway. Wow, tricky one. Okay, I keep wanting to say Blight Climb because it's like, oh, it's black on the backside. It's blighted. Hey, Smeagol. You're so cute. They have exiled Zimone and Dina. But they paid the student cost, so I did get to draw a card. Would you care to block? As we swing in with our Smeagol and Bloodghast. The answer appears to be no. I don't have anything in my graveyard right now. I'm trying to decide if I feel I want my Tamiyo safekeeping. I don't have a lot of green is the trouble. I'm going to just replay Zimone and Dina. Right now, they are far enough away from their commander's mana value that I don't think I need to hold open to Tail's End. Most of the cards that I would be afraid of them using here would be board wipes. And if it's a board wipe, it's a board wipe. It happens. Yeah, I was thinking maybe Meathook for 1. We could pay the tax. Smeagol then triggers post-combat. Oh, it's an orb! You could also put this orb into this deck, because it can get you a second draw in a turn. Palantir of Orthanc. They scry. And they're going to expect that I'm going to mill them. So, yeah, I am going to lose life. It's a land! Not that surprising. We are going to go to combat! Yeah. In we go. Whoop, whoop. Would you care to block? They scry. Esper Sentinel blocks Smeagol. Wait a minute. 1, 2... No, don't need it yet. Bloodghast. Become sacrificed. I didn't play a land yet this turn, so I'm actually going to decline on that. This way, I'm just getting this back untapped. I've got Binding the Old Gods. I've got Augur. They are at 4 life. I'm very, very close to killing them. Nice. Augur, you are now my ring bearer. If I Meathook, I just need to be able to kill all of my creatures. And that'll be enough. We have our Tail's End mana up. We've got Tamiyo's safekeeping, but no green mana up right now. Kaya's Wrath. It's a board wipe. Not that I mind. I am not going to move that back to the command zone. I will lose life. Big surprise. Yeah, I could have played the Meathook for 0 just to kill them off of a board wipe. That would have been, I think, like the funny play there. Sometimes you just gotta do it for the gags. Do I want to bring back a creature? I think I'm just gonna chill here on my Tail's End. They have all this nice extra mana, these treasures here. How could you not cast Kaya? How could you not? GG, Kaya Intangible Slayer. Greasefang, Okiba, Boss. She's the rat who wants to bring back big fancy cars. I have a bit of ramp here, so I'm going to keep this hand. And we're going to hope that they do not manage to put the Parhelion 2 into their graveyard. Or, I don't know what other vehicles I'd be that afraid of. Any other big scary cars. Oh my god, Oval Chase Dragster? That's so cool. At least I think it's cool. Reckoner Bankbuster, that's another good vehicle. Draws them cards. Can either go for you. Oh, not much I can do off that. I think Scrap Forger's fine, though. This Catacomb's coming in tapped. Here comes a Greasefang. And what car are you driving? She brings the Raider's Carve out. When it attacks, it looks at the top part of the library, and it was not a land, so they did not get to put it into play. Is it into play or just in... Yep, it's into the battlefield tapped. What a funny card. I think it's funny. So here I could go for Sheoldred for Hostage Taker. I kind of like Hostage Taker stealing one of their vehicles, the Reckoner Bankbuster, but Sheoldred's a much better blocker and can also block not just the vehicles, but Greasefang. I'm also now leaving open the Armored Scrap Forger, so when they target a vehicle, I can get rid of it from the graveyard. It's the Weatherlight. When it deals combat damage, you get historic cards. And looks like that was the Dragster? Dragster it is. Alright, so we are going to exile the Dragster. Nice. Good. Excellent. Zimone and Dina. Followed by Uro. Goodbye, Ox. This is a much greedier play because now I'm not leaving open my graveyard hate. But it does let me do this stuff. And draining my opponent just feels pretty good. They crew for 3. Hit for 4. And now they'll get a historic card if there is one in the top 5 cards in our library. Oftentimes the Weatherlight still misses, which is too bad. Ah, it's a legendary land! Nice. Lets them draw and discard. That's a good way to put vehicles straight into the trash. What? I also want cards in my graveyard. It's fine. No, it's a Cling to Dust! They also have a graveyard hate. Nissa, Resurgent Animist. Getting that landfall. Tapping an elf. Eating an elf. Nice. Another land. That's going to get Nissa's second trigger, which will get me an elf or elemental. I think I mostly just have elves. I do have an elemental, though. A big, scary one in this deck. Oh, what? Got an elf. Sure. We could hostage take something, but why would we do that when we can keep playing lands? Yay, landfall! Go to combat. And don't attack. pretty good elf. They're crewing. And swinging. Meathook Massacre. They can only do X equals 4. I'll take out that Cling to Dust. And everything but Sheoldred is going to die. And I guess the Weatherlight, but like, the Weatherlight's a vehicle. Do we really kill cars? Would I move my commander to the command zone? Yes. Any vehicles going in? Nope, no vehicles. Good. Agadeem's Awakening. 4, 3, 2, 1. Four, 3, 2, 1. That was beautiful. Good game, Greasefang. Riel, the Everwise. Now, normally I wouldn't want to keep this hand because it has no ramp and only 2 lands. But Riel draws extra cards. And Bowmasters causes some problems when you draw extra cards. I think this is a risky keep, but a fine keep, just because of the Bowmasters. When they discard a card with Riel out, they draw that many cards. Like, you still do the discard, but you also have to draw. Ooh, might be firmly grasping the Soul Scar Mage. A Guardian Idol. Taking it out. Still don't have a land, so we could tear asunder to get rid of their ramp, or we could just wait. I'll let them have their Guardian Idol. Because it means they're more likely to play Riel, which means we're more likely to get some more Bowmaster value. Okay, well they didn't, so now I'll tear asunder. A counter spell, maybe? No counterspell. Cool. Haha! A third land! I'm going for Zimone and Dina over the Plains for green for Augur of Autumn. The way I see it is I can get more green mana off Kami of Bamboo Groves. Hi, Riel! She's so wise. I don't want to wait. Land. And I'm going to do something rare for this deck. I'm going to attack with Zimone and Dina. Hi, Riel. Are you gonna draw cards? Can you wait until my turn to draw cards? They do not. They're discarding card, which means they draw a card and then they draw 2 more! They'll have 2 mana. Haven't played land yet for this turn, though. There we go. Ooh, they're shocking. What do I want to get countered? I guess Morbid Opportunist? I'll go for the Augur. I think they're more likely to counter this than this. It resolved? Okay. You're going to discard? They are discarding a card. I'm going to wait. Six mana. A crash through. Okay. You have some exquisitely pingable cards. Unless this gets countered. So far it hasn't been. You want to abrade? I'll just munch it up. Oh, hey, Emrakul. That's a good card. have 6 mana. Just gotta catch up after my slow start. Sweet! More lands! That's a casualties of war. Excuse me, I'm just gonna shove this orc out of the way. Nice, Bloodghast. Creature, land. Creature, land. Or tie scorn. Very fair. Our Emrakul actually only costs 9 mana now, because we have so many different card types in graveyards. Sorceries, creatures, enchantments, and instants. There's another land. We're going to go for Emrakul, the Promised End, to take over our opponent's next turn. If they have a Sublime Epiphany, they could counter both parts, but it doesn't look like they do. That's going to be GG. Omnath, Locus of Rage. Landfall, get big, scary tokens, and if those tokens die, you get to deal 3 damage to any target. You know, I can have landfall tokens too. Got a Scute Swarm in hand. I don't have any black mana though, which is a little uncomfortable for this start. So we're gonna throw that back, grab a fresh one. Nice! I got an Orcish Bowmasters. It makes tokens. I got a Smeagol that eats the tokens. I have ways to protect, ways to remove. Zimone and Dina. All good cards. I'm taking 1. Going to my turn. And I'm ready with the Bowmasters. I don't think they'll be trying to draw cards since it's a, you know, Golgari deck. Still want to be ready. Doesn't look like they got a land. They do have a halfling. Zimone and Dina. Just getting my friends ready. My ladies ready to eat these orcs. I've got forests. I've got eating my creatures. Oh wait, I should attack first. That would be smart. Nice. Attack. Eat orc. Orc. Put this breeding pool into play. And I can either hold up the wash away or the safekeeping. And I'm going to go with the wash away. There's a chance that Omnath does something. I don't think so, but I just want to be ready. The Orcish Bowmasters are carrying the One Ring. Yeah, they cost 7. Right now they only have 4, but they can get to 5 with the Garen Brig. Well, they can turn 5 into 6 with the Garen Brig. Being ready. Monkey. Monkey hits. Oh, you're right. If they tap correctly, the halfling would make it uncounterable, but they'd be more likely to use the Garen Brig mana. I guess they would just have to be very careful about their taps. I'm eating my Ring Bearer. I don't need that. What I do need? Chaotic amount of lands. We're gonna use Mortality Spear to take out Nissa. I don't think I have any lands in the graveyard. Nope, just creatures. Go to combat. Swing with Smeagol. Tireless Tracker. In case of landfall. Pass the turn. We do get a landfall. Zimone and Dina, you're my ring bearer. Oh, the land! Another land. And Multani. Okay, Multani's big and trampling. Not that big, actually, because they only have 5 lands right now. Monkey! Monkey fast? Monkey dead. Tireless Tracker lives forever! I love that monkey so much. It just brings me so much joy. Unfortunately, Multani, I need you to, leave the battlefield forever and ever and ever. Arboreal Grazer coming out. Arboreal Grazer's like, where's the lands? You are the land, sweetie. We're going to do a little bit of upcycling. Already played a land for this turn. Munch some dirt. Yum, yum, yum. Or a bunch of clue, I should say. Swing for 8. Nice. And now steal another land. Smeagol's the ring bearer. Gimme, 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 gimme. Yay! Rootbound Crag! Dirt is clue. Clue is dirt. Augur Bottom lets them play lands off the top of their library. Sometimes creatures. Rada also plays lands off the top of their library. I want a Rada! Ooh, or Augur Bottom. Rada's prettier. And we have lethal. So we win the game. GG! Urabrask, who casts many instants and sorceries, getting red mana, pinging your face, and then transforming into a scary saga that lets you bring back those spells and do them again. Command Tower. I'm going to ramp. Shirk Prospector, just a bit of mono red ramp, banking 1 red mana. Armored Scrap Gorger. This can eat up those spells from the graveyard. By the way, Skirk Prospector is going to be constantly asking them, hey, do you want to sacrifice me? I didn't block there because there's a chance that they have a shock. Ooh, Mythic's Mastery. I'm glad that is going into exile and staying in exile forever and ever and ever. Don't have to worry about it. Don't have to think about it. Ooh, so many choices. Zimone and Dina. Just getting ready for next turn. 4 toughness is hard for red to burn through. Usually takes 2 spells. Play with fire. So they did have a shock. That's like shock plus plus. And a grape shot. Nice! Taking out Zimone and Dina, though using 2 spells to do it. Boop. Sheoldred. Sheoldred's quite nice in this matchup because part of how this Urabrask is able to flip over is usually casting a lot of cantripping red spells. It's similar to Burgi, where you're going for the storm with something like Grape Shot, so you want to draw a lot of cards to keep fueling casting more spells. Sheoldred says, oh, you draw cards? That's going to be 2 life each time. So there's an example of one of those cantripping spells, Warlord's Fury. They cast it, they're going to lose 2 life. Nice. Are you, sure about that? I'm going to take the Grape Shot out of their graveyard because of all the spells, that's one I think is most likely to be able to kill me. Got ourselves a Hinterland Harbor, but I'd like it to come into play untapped. So I'm going to use Spring Bloom. Sacrifice Takanuma. Get some basics. Let's go with a blue and a green. Now we have this. We can go for Topiary Stomper or Black Market Connection. More ramp. Or lots of things. Let's go with lots of things. At the Warlord's Fury. And not attack in, because we don't need to. We just need to sit here with our pretty little Praetor. Pretty! Just like their commander, cares about casting spells, getting extra mana. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Urabrask comes out to play. They're floating 1 mana. Crash through. They draw a card. Because they've drawn a card, they Lose 2 life. I also take a damage, and now they have 2 red floating mana. They're strangling Sheoldred! They have to get her off the battlefield. Now they've got 4 mana. Ooh, but they're passing with it. They didn't find a way to kill Shelly. I'm paying the 6. Always. Listen, if I can, I will. I know what I'm about. Finding the old gods. I'm going to go for Burgi over Urabrask, just because Burgi, like, they can't recast that from the command zone. Bloodghast. Pass the turn. If they are able to flip Urabrask, we can actually counter it. They could admittedly, like, just do it again. It only costs 1 mana. Very nice drawing cards you've got there. Sheoldred actually is the one who won this game. Zimone and Dina just kind of got killed, but gotta have the backups. GG. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. As always, if you'd like to watch me streaming live, come on over to twitch.tv/Amazonian, where I'm playing Magic almost every single day. I actually recently did an outdoor stream in downtown Boston, and also some Pikmin, because sometimes you gotta play things other than Magic the Gathering. If you like this deck, be sure to let me know in the comments section. And I also want to say thank you to the people who supported me on Ko-fi recently. There's a link in my description of the video if you're going to throw $5 my way. I do appreciate it. It helps me do what I do full time. If you have a commander you would like to see, or a commander you'd like me to revisit, let me know in the comments. Just leave a comment. Be like, hey, I know you just reposted Gitrog, but Gitrog again, please. And I'll say, probably not, but I do love Gitrog Monster. I play it all the time on my stream when I remember that I have it as a deck. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.